Hi, and thanks for joining this discussion on Springboard. Today, we'd like to discuss a taxonomy tool which we have been developing to understand social norms which impact reproductive health and family planning. This tool is still in development, so today we'd really appreciate your feedback. Today, we'll share a draft of the taxonomy and ask for your thoughts with a few points of discussion. Tomorrow, we'll talk about feedback we got at the Ouagadougou Partnership meeting and next steps for developing the taxonomy. We started this taxonomy as we were conducting an evidence review about interventions which address social norms, particularly in Francophone West Africa. As we did this work, we used resources developed by the Learning Collaborative to understand different definitions of social norms and how they can operate to influence family planning use. Social norms defined here are, quote, the often unspoken rules that govern behavior. They are generally recognized in two ways: things people do because others do them, or others expect them to do them. Social norms can influence family planning in a number of ways. They can both support and inhibit it. For instance, the woman in the middle is influenced by social norms when she says, "My friends are all finishing school before starting families. I plan to do the same thing." In the couple to her right, the woman is saying, "I'd like to use the injectable, but my boyfriend might think it's weird if I'm bleeding irregularly." As we continued reviewing literature about social norms, interventions, and family planning, we found that norms tended to cluster around a few different categories, which we organized in this taxonomy. We created this taxonomy to focus on Francophone West Africa, but we believe it may be useful in other contexts. In the first category on the left, we see norms around fertility. These norms dictate how many children to have and when to have them. For instance, in some contexts, people feel pressure to prove fertility early in life, before or immediately after marriage. In the second category are norms around sexuality. These norms generate expectations around when and with whom it's okay to have sex. In several contexts, in West Africa and around the world, there are social consequences for premarital sex or a general norm that sex is shameful. The third category includes norms about the body and how it should look and function. Sometimes social norms can influence how women experience side effects. For instance, women may be worried that if she is experiencing notable bodily side effects from family planning, others will notice and criticize her. In the fourth category are norms about power. These norms dictate who is in charge and whether it's okay to challenge them. There can be strong norms, for instance, in a couple relationship about which party should be able to make a decision about family planning. In addition, there may be norms around whether it's okay to challenge health guidance and health workers, or whether they are seen as figures of authority and knowledge. We have left the fifth category blank because this taxonomy is still in progress. All of these norms can influence a person's ability to use family planning. This taxonomy is still in development, so we'd love your feedback on it. Here are some questions we have for you for today's discussion. First, in the countries where you work, in West Africa or elsewhere, what norms are the main obstacles to contraceptive use? What norms are favorable to contraceptive use? Are these represented in the taxonomy? Second, what other specific tools and approaches have you used to research and design programs which address social norms that are barriers to family planning use? How are they used? 3, could the taxonomy be used to support research or programming around FP and social norms? If so, how? We hope you'll take a moment to answer one of the questions in the comments section, and please feel free to ask any questions about the taxonomy and its development. Thanks so much for listening and looking forward to the discussion.